Hello everybody, it is Carly and Vanessa here from Building Bridges Counseling Services. Happy Self-Care Sunday.
Woohoo!
So today our topic of discussion is going to be around anxiety, and I'm sure that's something you're probably familiar with, as we all are. There's different levels of anxiety, obviously. So we just thought we'd have a conversation about that.
Yeah, so anxiety is something that often makes people feel alone, like a lot of mental health challenges. And sometimes we can feel really trapped in what we're feeling and experiencing, and to the point where it can be quite debilitating, and really change how we're responding to situations and people, and how we even feel about ourselves.
Yeah, so anxiety is a very physical, or it shows up a lot in the body. So we might have the knot in your stomach, or the butterflies, or the tightness in the chest, or even in the head. So we really do experience it physically. So that can be a really good indicator that, oh, I think I'm dealing with some anxiety right now. Mm-hmm. Racing thoughts, those kinds of things. Mm-hmm. So because it is very much in the body, a lot of the coping that can come along with anxiety does have to do with tapping into the body. So doing timed breathing and grounding ourselves, but also doing physical activity like yoga or going for a run. Also maybe avoiding certain things like drinking coffee when we're feeling extra anxious isn't going to help, because our heart rate is already elevated. So probably don't need to increase it more.
One of the things that we also found was just kind of some mantras that you can do while you're when you're feeling anxious, and they are kind of just even talking yourself through it. This is only temporary. I'm in control. I can take things one step at a time. I've made it through this before and I'll make it through it again. Anxiety doesn't define me. So sometimes it's just about the idea of kind of slowing things down and staying in the moment. There's also a lot of different research about how to support kiddos when they are feeling anxious, as they often do. And it's really about guiding them through different strategies. So some of the ones that came up were guiding them through visualization, giving them a hug, running them a bath, guiding them through breathing, finding some play or games, asking them or giving them the language so they know how they can ask for help when they're feeling anxious, and talking about feelings, because sometimes anxiety for a lot of us comes out as anger or extreme sadness, and when actually we're feeling quite anxious. Some other things that they talked about to avoid is just around kind of drinking alcohol, or if you know that certain situations trigger you, to be quite clear with people in your life, that setting boundaries and those kinds of things. But most of all, if this is something that really does impact you, that there's lots of ways to get support. Because we all deal with some form of anxiety at different levels, but especially if it's really debilitating.
Yeah.
Sometimes anxiety talks to us and says, oh, you're all alone, and this is all about you, and that you're crazy is the thing we've heard a lot before. But just even maybe reaching out, getting a counseling appointment, or working with another mental health professional who has some experience in working with that, even just to figure out where this anxiety is coming from and how it is playing out in our lives. Because I think sometimes if we can get to the root of it, we can often
address it.
Yeah,
and challenge it. And I think you'll notice the thoughts that come up, and the thought patterns and the stories we tell ourselves, and the messages we repeat, and how they just kind of they feed the anxiety. And once you can sort of become present to those and recognizing them for what they are, can be really helpful. So we're one support out there that can help you manage with these with anxiety, but there's lots out there. So if you're not alone, don't feel like you can't reach out for support, because truthfully it is something that can be managed by even just talking through it. So
yeah. And also, it's really tied into that self-care piece. If we're constantly feeling anxious and really noticing lots of anxious feelings in different situations, we're often maybe not taking care of ourselves the same way, or it's impacting our relationships, and therefore it's kind of going to continue a pattern of not getting better until we address it. So,
yeah, for sure. Well, even some of the coping strategies you were reading for kids, I'm like, oh, that's great self-care. Taking a bath or getting a hug or those kinds of things. So yeah, it's all very much linked. So speaking of self-care, did you do yours last week?
Yes, I did.
Good. How'd it go?
Good. Really good. Yeah, I found it really helpful, and yeah, I actually used it a couple times. So
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. I don't think I did mine. Well, I mean, mine was like using natural remedies. So I talked about like turmeric and all these other kinds of herbs and stuff. I didn't have any of that, but I did have magnesium to help me kind of calm my body at nighttime, which was helpful.
Oh, cool.
And I mean, cinnamon. I just like cinnamon, and I have it anyway. But I was like, that's like a spice that has some sort of property. So I figured.
Does it?
I think it does. I think
that's so cool.
it's supposed to be good for something.
Oh, fair. Or it just tastes good, so it makes you feel good.
And that probably. Okay. So did I get today? The exact one I had last time.
It's like
Calm
really,
anxiety
the
with
universe
herbs.
is really wanting you to do that one.
Yeah. What else? Maybe did I like miss something? But anyway, it doesn't matter. The other one says put photos in albums. My husband will tell you I have plenty of photo albums. It says, do you have... No, I don't. But it says, do you have boxes of photo prints and things? It just talks about kind of getting organized, putting them in a photo album to make it feel more special. And yeah, I do have photo albums. I don't have any printed photos, but I could do that. But I think it's just, for me, that'll just be a reminder to keep doing that rather than just like putting stuff in a box and waiting till it backs up.
Or changing some of the photos. Yeah.
I could do that.
Yeah.
Updating. I did a little, I'm on top of my photo game, I feel like. I feel like I did that not too long ago.
Oh, this was a perfect one for me. Spend a day with your pet. So I just want all of you who know me, we have our therapy dog Molly, and she's here. So
Molly,
sorry, that's what
here?
important. No, she doesn't. And I actually love spending days with her, and I find that it's just a really great way because you can talk to them and there's no judgment, and they are just so appreciative just to spend time with you. So that is something I'm going to definitely do.
Perfect. Awesome. So you guys can try out some of that self-care or a different one. And if you want to let us know about some, you can comment on this post. And yeah, just be mindful of any anxious feelings you're feeling over the week and engage in that self-care. And then we'll see you next Sunday.
Yeah. And here's Molly doing her self-care between sessions and stuff. Oh,
More.
there we go. Awesome.
She's pretty chill.
Yeah,
Too anxious.
Very chill. She loves it. So we'll see you all next week, and have a great week.